Hello everyone, I'm Blanche and welcome to Feast in the Middle East, where I show you how to make Middle Eastern food fast, easy, with a modern twist. And today we're going to combine actually my two backgrounds. I'm a California girl at heart, but I'm also Arabic. So putting the two together, I came up with baklava granola. Okay, so you might know the word baklava. It's that delicious phyllo treat with nuts that's very popular in Lebanon, Palestine, Jordan, Syria, Greece, Turkey. Everyone has their own version. Sometimes I wake up and I want to eat baklava for breakfast, but we all know that's not very healthy. So I thought, what if I put the flavors of baklava in my homemade granola? Now that would be awesome. So with that, we're going to start making this granola, and it's so easy. Honestly, once you see how easy it is to make granola, you might not buy it from the store ever again. I don't know. So we're going to start with about 1.5 cups of oats. I use old-fashioned oats for this, organic, of course. So I use about 1.5 cups, and this is going to be a really nut-heavy granola. There's going to be a lot of nuts. So my favorite kind of baklava, also known as baklava, is a pistachio version. So I'm going to use about 1/2 cup of pistachios. You could use raw pistachios. You could even use roasted pistachios because we bake the granola on very low heat. Next, we're going to have pecans. Traditionally, there's a lot of baklava with walnuts, but I think pecans taste a little bit better in granola, so that's my little substitute. So that's about 1/2 cup of raw pecans. And no granola would be complete without some sunflower seeds. It just doesn't have that granola flavor. You need the sunflower seeds. Look at all those nuts. Now, I don't put any fruit in my granola, but if you want to use fruit, I would say a good suggestion to keep that Middle Eastern flavor would be to use sultanas, which are the yellow raisins. They would add a lot to this granola. So I'm just going to stir this around a little bit, and now I'm going to make the actual sauce, so to speak, that's going to bind this together. To make that, it's quite simple. I start with about 1/4 cup of almond butter. I love almond butter because it's got that extra nutty taste that you need in a granola without using butter. Usually people use butter. Store-bought versions use hydrogenated oils, but almond butter is awesome. So I have 1/4 cup of almond butter. Now to make it sweet, I use a combination of maple syrup and honey. You can use all honey, you could use all maple syrup, but honey keeps that baklava flavor, and I just use maple syrup because I like the flavor. So it's really up to your preference. So I use about 1/3 cup of that. You could use 1/4 cup if you want less sugar. And now here's something cool, coconut oil, extra virgin coconut oil. This adds a very coconutty, beautiful flavor to it. It adds that extra fat that granola needs. But get this is a saturated fat that has a lot of health benefits. It has lauric acid, which is actually an acid that fights viruses and bacteria. It even can lower cholesterol and blood pressure. Look it up if you don't believe me. Just look up benefits of coconut oil and you'll be astounded. So I use a good 2 tablespoons of this right here, 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. I love the smell. It's got this beautiful fragrant smell, kind of like a pina colada, you know? So now we've got all the wet ingredients in here, and all I'm gonna do is stir it around on low heat until it's all smooth and on a light simmer before I add it to this. To keep that baklava flavor, I'm going to use cinnamon and nutmeg. You could also use cloves because they do use that in baklava, but not all kids like the taste of cloves. Certainly my kids don't, so that's why I leave it out. But if you really want to give it that extra edge, add some cloves. So it looks like it is almost done. Oh, it smells like almonds and coconut and maple and honey. You could drink this stuff, it's so good. So, I've got it all hooked up. It's all nice and smooth. We're gonna pour this over our nut and oat mixture. We're gonna add the spices. I would say a good heaping teaspoon of cinnamon would be great. So I'm just gonna add a good amount there. And just a dash of nutmeg. There we go. Okay, and now I'm gonna stir this up. This is a great dish to do with the kids. They have a lot of fun pouring in the dry ingredients, mixing it up in the bowl. They really enjoy it, and when they're part of the process, they're more likely to eat it. And I'm gonna put it on a pan here. You wanna spread it around, and I'm going to actually bake it at very low heat, actually 275 degrees, for about 45 minutes. Then I'm gonna take it out, stir it around a little bit so it's equally distributed, and then bake it for another 45 minutes. So the baking time is gonna be like an hour and a half. But keep an eye on it. You know, you don't want it to get too browned or toasty. Look how gorgeous that is. So I'm gonna put this in the oven. 250 to 275, depending on how powerful your oven is. So there you have it, peeps, my baklava granola. You get the granola, but without all the sugar syrup and the butter of traditional baklava, so you can eat it any time of the day. This is one way I like to serve it, as a parfait. I could eat this for breakfast, and I could also serve it for dessert. I just layered some of it with some yogurt and some organic strawberries, and I could just wake up for breakfast and have the flavor of baklava right in my very own cup. Thank you so much for joining me here on Feast in the Middle East. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your comments and your likes. Please subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this. You could also follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, on my Feast in the Middle East website, whatever makes you happy. Until next time, صحتين.